Yes. So that is what. So if we have various possible alternatives to choose.
I'm doing well. And what about you? How are you doing?
Yes, I'm doing good as well. Thank you for asking. So, of course, we are meeting for the first time. So, as you know, Monica, and I'm basically from Kolkata. Can I know something about you?
Of course, my name is Adrija, and I am also from West Bengal, but I live in the north of West Bengal. I'm from Raigand.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Right, right. So, yes, tell me, do you have any idea about today's topic?
Well, today's topic was something about like what would you do if you would be invisible for one day or something like that. I just went through the questions once.
Right, right, right. It's basically a conditional situation where you just have to imagine that situation to yourself and you have to try and answer out. Just repeating the question again. So, what would you do if you could be invisible for a day?
Well, I think there are lots of things I'd love to do. Like one day is pretty short for being invisible. So anyway, probably I don't know if I just talk about my area or something, then probably I would go to some stores, I guess, bookstores, read any books that I want and stuff. So I'd love to do that. But then I'd also love to go to a forest and then look at the wild animals there, because we cannot actually visit them, right? We cannot look at them because they're going to eat us anyway. So for that, I'd love to, like, stand in front of them and look at what they do and what they don't do, because I don't think I'd ever get the opportunity if I'm visible. So I will go to a forest, look at all of these wild animals, and then like spend time with them. Even it would be really daring and amazing, and I think I'd love that.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Fine. All right. And would you be troublesome or would you be helpful?
Well, I don't think I'd be troublesome, but I'd like to tease my friends, of course. I'd love to do that, like go to them and probably scare them a bit and, throw water on them and stuff like that. They would be scared. So I'd, of course, love to do that.
Okay. Okay. Right. And since you are invisible, and let's say that you have enough money to give away, so who would you help and how?
Well, of course, I'd help the like the homeless. There are a lot of homeless people here and there. So especially in this at stations, I would say, like whenever we go to stations, we see so many homeless people just sitting there, having no place to spend the night or something. So I think I'd give them money. I don't know if that money would be able to help them like forever, of course, but it would bring them a meal or two. So yeah, of course, I'd love to help them.
Right. 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 Okay. Fine. And yes, if you could commit any crime and get away with it, what crime would you like to commit and why?
I don't think so. I would ever love to commit a crime. I like stealing someone, not at all do that. Murdering someone, never. I don't really hate someone like that to murder people. But then I guess I think I would do something like there are lots of people who steal money. So I might steal money from them and give it to, the people, not the people from whom he has stolen, because they are rich people, the people who need the money. I think poor people, people in debt, and all of those. So I'd steal money from thieves and robbers and then probably give those to poor people.
Okay, okay, fine, great. Now I'll just go with some other questions with you, right? I'll just try to ask you some general questions. Try to talk about your experiences, observations, given as many examples as possible, right? Okay. So tell me, how important is it to get advice from different people when making decisions?
I can never really make a decision myself. I always need to consult my parents on any topic that I need. And of course, consulting people, especially family and friends, is very important, because at that time you can really understand the point of view. Like there are different point of views that people have. So sometimes when you look at the thing from someone else's perspective, then it makes a lot more sense. So I think it is really important not just to consult one person, just talk about it with many people, look at what the majority speaks, you know, something like that, I guess, and then make a decision. Of course, I am really scared to make a decision myself, and I'd love to consult my friends and family before that.
Okay, okay, fine. Right. So, what are those circumstances or situations in your life where you took up advices from different people and how it impacted you?
Oh, well, basically, I am really young right now. I don't think so. I had to make so many of, difficult, uh, difficult decisions in my life. I don't have those yet. But then again, I do consult my parents about what I'd like to choose. Like, I'm in class 10 right now. So I know, I'm scared a bit. Like, what if I regret making some choices that I chose this stream, that stream, whatever it is. So I think of the first people that I always consult are my parents. I love to talk with them because they know me the best. And then probably some relatives, then my friends, because my friends also know me from another perspective. So that is what I do. I don't really have so many of reasons to make decisions actually right now.
Right. Yes, so of course, advices are very important, right? They help us develop smarter solutions in life,
Yeah,
better and smarter solutions, and sometimes they also helps us to broaden our horizon. We may not be thinking in the same direction in which some other person might
right.
be thinking into. So they always gives us a different outlook towards the that particular problem or solution. Right. So yes, and also when we have different alternatives for yes. So that is what. So if we have various possible alternatives to choose from, we'll always try to choose the best among the possible resources.
Mhm.
Right. Yes. Okay. Right. And yes. Okay. Expectation kills happiness. Expectations kills happiness. This is a
Mhm.
very well known proverb. How can you
Right.
justify this statement?
I think for me, I would never expect anything from people. You should never expect anything from people, from things, anything that you look out to. Never expect something like, because high expectations are always going to be, if even that expectation, if you have high expectations, then then the reality would not exceed those expectations, and then you won't be happy. Always, I think having no expectations is what should be done, not low expectation. I would say just have no expectation about that, because when you get that, even if it is a small thing, a little kindness that you get from people, that is what actually makes you happy. If we expect something good from other people, if we go to someone's house and then expect that they would treat us like, a very they would like to treat us in a way that we would like. If we expect that, then I think, if even if they treat us like that, we would not feel that happy because we already expected it. So I think if you do not expect anything, even a little glass of water would be really good. That time you would feel good that they gave us a glass of water. So I think that is what makes sense.
Hmm. Right. Okay. So, don't you think we have a certain level of expectations from ourselves?
Yeah, it's a human nature to have expectations, like from people, from ourselves, from things that hasn't happened yet. We all have expectations.
Mm-hmm. So I guess a little bit of expectation is always needed, especially from ourselves. Why? Because
Yeah, right.
expectations helps us to maximize our potentials, to know our true caliber, to know our true capability, right? So unless and until we try and expect to become someone, how will we maximize the potential to achieve that pillar of success in our life? Right. So I
Yeah,
guess we do have, but yes, like you said, over expectations are something that can ruin the entire happiness of the
yeah,
process. Right. Whether it's from people, whether it's from a situation, right. So we would get disheartened, we would be
right.
disappointed, right. So if we are trying to expect a little too much from the people, right. So yes, that is what. So expectations from relationships, expectations from maybe a situation. Let's say that you are in the 10th, right. So have you
Mhm.
appeared, are you going to appear for the boards or have you already done it?
I'm going to appear for the boards next year.
Right. Oh yes, it's already July, so of course. Right, so you are going to appear. Now, you might have set an expectation from yourself to achieve a certain percentage, knowing your caliber, knowing your true
Right.
potential, right?
Hmm.
So, if let's say that there's a student who is over expecting from whatever that he wants to achieve a certain percentage, right? So, that over expectation can ruin the entire happiness of that moment, right? So,
Right.
yes, that is what.
Yes, there are many students like that. I mean, the previous class 10 batch of our school, they expected so much. Like they got probably 95%, and that's way too much. Like that's great that you got 95%, but they wanted something like 97, 98, and then that 95% seems like 1% to them. That is what
Hmm.
happens. So I think sometimes expectations really give bad results.
Yes, yes. Rather than bad results, I guess it gives us the disappointment that we cannot carry
Disappointment.
forward with.
Yeah. Hmm.
Right? Yes. So something that it just gives a burden to the heart that, oh, we couldn't achieve this thing. Even if we have so many things that we have achieved, we are still overlooking those things and we are moving forward with that heavy heart, or we couldn't, achieve that particular thing in life. Right? So, yeah. Okay. Now, consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. How far do you agree with this statement?
Well, as a student, of course, I have to agree. Like, we have an exam. Just the previous day, we read a bit and then go and vomit it out in the exam paper.
Hmm.
It never works out like that. So I think consistency means what? Doing something regularly, maintaining regularity. So everything, not only a student, any work, if you would like to do it, in the best way possible, then consistency is a must. I mean, the hard work. Sometimes, yes, you need to be smart enough to work, but then the main thing that is important, the root of every work is hard work, like the consistency. So I think, yes, consistency is very, very important, because if we don't work regularly, then we won't be able to improve ourselves.
Hmm. Right, right. So consistency always helps us to develop the habits, and habits are some things which can shape our lives. Right. So it helps us to, take the path which can lead us to success. Right. So consistency is something that just helps us to achieve that success gradually in our life.
Hmm.
Right. So yeah, that's true. All the successful people that we have seen in and around
Yeah,
have been able to sustain the success only because of the consistent efforts that they have
right.
put into it.
Hmm.
Right. Yes. Okay. I'll just discuss certain words that vocabularies that have been mentioned in the session notes.
Mhm.
Tell me if you know the meaning.
Um, you gave it in the chat, right?
Yes. Yes. You can find it in the chat box.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Exhilarated.
Exhilarated. Exhilarated.
Exhilarated. Okay,
Hmm.
exhilarated. Um,
Yeah. You know the meaning? Mhm.
I think it means to be overexcited or something. I don't know actually.
Yes, excited or happy, right? When you're
Excited.
excited or when you're very happy, so you can use this exhilarated, right? So I was exhilarated to see the results when I just cleared with flying colors, right? So I was exhilarated to do this or whatever, right? So when you're very happy or when you're very excited, so you can use this. Can you frame a sentence using this word exhilarated?
Sure. I was exhilarated to see my sister after 2 years.
Hmm. Yes, great. Okay, now, okay, this, just a second. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, this one.
Disgust. I don't know a
Hmm.
synonym to disgust, but it's like not liking something, I don't know what would be the synonym, but because the only word that I know is disgust. Like the food is disgusting, it tastes
Hmm.
horrible, so something like that.
When you disapprove of something, so
Yeah,
you
right.
call it disgust, right?
Hmm.
Disgusting. Now you can also use just disgust, like, okay, my manager, I mean, whatever, my principal looked at me with